Hey guys, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 episode. You join us for some AEW. But this is the first one under the new format and the new style. Of course, we put a poll up way back on the 15th of June to see what everyone's preference was, and the long angles were quite outvoted by the short, snappy gameplay. So we're going to go with that. So just to give an idea of the format, if you did miss the poll that was put up, it'll just be like standard booking. We'll go through each particular match and why we booked it a certain way. And because, as I say, it won't be as long with the typed up angles, it'll be basically a dynamite. We'll quickly recap the episode of Dark, another dynamite, and then the episode of Dark. The only time there'll be changes to this kind of format will be when there's a pay-per-view. So if I can only fit one show in before the pay-per-view, I would prefer the pay-per-views to be as a separate video on their own. So I'm intrigued to see how it goes down. Some people might like it, some people won't. It's always going to happen with anything you try and do in life, but hopefully this gives us a good way that we can get a lot of this played, and we can get to like somewhere ridiculous in the future. So I mean, I've said with a lot of my stuff, I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, but it's all about the whole journey, getting to the end game, which either is hopefully moving Dynamite to a Monday and having proper Monday Night Wars. So that's the intro. I'm going to hit the wee pause button and we'll jump into the show, and hopefully we can start this new era of AEW Dynamite with an absolute bang. So here we are with 8,454 fans at the Extraco Event Centre. It's going to be interesting as well because this is the first time I've played the save in about probably 4 weeks. It was only save I'd go in at the time with the WWF, so I played a lot of it, and obviously since then I played a lot of the WWE save, but yeah, as I say, I'm quite happy playing all three. I'm enjoying them. That's the main thing here. We're enjoying each one of them. And hopefully we can have some great saves going forward. Start off then with Hangman Page in action against QT Marshall. It was a decent matchup that saw Hangman defeat QT Marshall in 620 with the Adam's Apple. This gained a 74. Hangman Page with the 69 performance gets the show off to a strong start, gets the crowd hotter. Now the good thing about this is obviously Hangman turned on Kenny Omega at Fighter Fest. It was Fighter Fest we've done it. I can't remember pay-per-view about. That's how long ago it was since I've done it. But he turned on his partner anyway. And to be honest, he speaks about it in the promo afterwards. He just says, he's fed up. Kenny always losing, and it's just it's time for Hangman Page to run solo. He's done with Kenny. He's done with Elite, and it's time to move on. And that promo was a 66. Next up with Camille on the stick, she was just basically saying that the partner has arrived for Jacob Fatu. The contract's finally started, and it was Brian Cage. So this signing was done a week after he debuted for AEW in real life. That's us finally just got him. Disappointing he never made the debut at the pay-per-view. I just couldn't judge when the contract said it was going to start. I thought it was going to be in time, but typically I missed out. But yeah. We have a team of Jacob Fatu and Brian Cage with Camille as manager, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Titans. So that was a 53 rated segment. They finally get their matchup against Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. Of course, after they were the ones that ran down, Jacob Fatu's the man that ran down Chuck Taylor, and it was a decent matchup that saw the Titans defeat Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta in 11:44 when Brian Cage pinned Trent Beretta with the machine termination. The 63 is not too bad here. Awkward pairing though between Brian Cage and Camille's not ideal. So we'll see how we can work with that going forward. But a 63 is still okay because it is in the mid card of AEW. So the match that should have happened at the pay-per-view, the Titans with a good victory. Moving on. About the had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. The team of Hikaru Shida, Nikki Storm and Toni Storm defeated Nyla Rose, Leva Bates and Bea Priestley in 9:41 when Hikaru Shida pinned Leva Bates with the Tamashi no free count. Nikki Storm head and shoulders above the rest of the competitors here. Again, we're still in this particular mod trying to build up a women's division. So you're still going to see people like Toni Storm and Bea Priestley that will have the crowd against them. There is certain attributes that we need them to get, and hopefully over time they can develop that and the crowd will accept them. But 56 is good. Hopefully we don't have to bring in too many people from the outside, but a thriving women's division is aiming at any save, so hopefully we can propel some of these to superstardom. And after the matchup, obviously the DQ victory at the pay-per-view, Tony Storm and Nyla Rose just continue fighting to the back, and that gets a 50 before security eventually splits them up in the back. We then had the promo from Christopher Daniels on Lance Archer. This got 67. Obviously it was a 3-on-1 assault on Lance Archer at the end of the pay-per-view. Obviously he's taken out Daniels, he's taken out Scorpio Sky, he's taken out Kazarian, all the separate parts here. And Daniels says he's got one more run in him and he's going to win that TNT Championship from Lance Archer. Next up, we had a good matchup that saw Darby Allin defeat Jake Hager in 12-17 with a coffin drop. 78, a stellar performance here. This match got the crowd hot as well. This was all about, as I say, Hager making Darby look $1,000,000, and they managed to get the shock victory, ending with the coffin drop to give him the win. Afterwards, Brody Lee comes out and cuts a promo on Darby Allin, and he just says, "Congratulations on your victory over him last time at the pay-per-view." But he says to him, "That was good, but how good would you be if you joined the Dark Order?" So 64 for Brody Lee, trying to recruit members for the Dark Order. Could he be trying to get Darby Allin finally there? He obviously didn't get him with a match on pay-per-view, but maybe this could be leading to something. Who knows? Next up, we had a decent matchup. MJF defeated Michael Nakazawa in 6:28 with a Swanton Bomb. This flopped to a 53. It was the Mayhem match because they fit one in. Obviously MJF continues his unbeaten run here, but yeah, the crowd didn't like the overbooked nature of the matchup, but it did get the crowd buzzing. Hopefully we don't burn them out. Next up, the champion, well, he's reeling. The House of Hardy matchup, the Inner Circle taking the loss to the Elite and Matt Hardy. And yeah, Jericho, he's just sitting there on his own with a bottle of bubbly. Yeah, it's just a dead, sad and upset Chris Jericho. So, more to come on this, but only a 67, despite him improvising well and having a hot catchphrase. We then led on to some tag team action, and it was a good wrestling match with a decent reaction from the crowd as the Young Bucks defeated the Butcher and the Blade in 10-11 when Matt Jackson pinned the Butcher with the Meltzer driver, the Butcher being a weak link here. Stellar performances from the Young Bucks in this. The Butcher and the Blade were a bit iffy, but the Young Bucks get everything boosted with the excellent chemistry, the tag bonus, and the groundswell of public support. So it carries the momentum up for them after a good week and a good result at the pay-per-view. Nick Jackson also debuted in a hope spot. They get the crowd behind him, so he's got a wee boost to his psychology. Then another tag match, which was really just given a good opportunity to Private Party. It was about that had great wrestling and good heat, and the Lucha Brothers defeated Private Party in 12:37 when Pentagon Jr. pinned Isaiah Cassidy with a top rope styles clash. It was the second defence of the AEW World Tag Titles. What I like to see here is it got an 81, and that's with both Cassidy and Phoenix off their game, but both teams have excellent chemistry in this mod, and it's a regular match, so it just shows you they were absolutely stellar. And it gives a bit more prestige to the Tag Team Championships. And a promo with Jon Moxley, not in action tonight, he just says Pax has been defeated. He's just going to sit around and wait and see who has the balls to come up and challenge him next for the AEW World Championship. And in our main event, this was a Steal the Show matchup. Good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. Kenny Omega defeats Angelico in 12:29 with the one-winged angel. So obviously pissed off at what happened between him and Hangman Page, but Kenny puts a stellar match on Angelico, gives Angelico a good spotlight. 79 rated matchup, we got the crowd buzzing, Steal the Show, and we finished the show with Kenny noticing Hangman Page, who tried to attack him, and then Kenny chases him to end the show to a 73. So, this is interesting. This is obviously part of the 1.14 patch, I believe, with the pop gains. This show increased our region in 15 regions, and we gained popularity in 2 additional regions, but the growth was restricted due to audience size. So that's fair enough. That's obviously like you shouldn't be gaining that many people if you're not too over in that particular area. We'll quickly jump back to the main screen. We'll take a wee look at the notes, and then we'll have a look at the AEW Dark results. and then we'll fast forward into next week's episode. RVD is going to sign a new contract with Impact. Madman Fulton has, just confirming the brand new move of Nick Jackson. Oh. Was that already there? I think that was already there the last time. If not, yeah. Oh no, it wasn't actually. Brandy kind of cheated with Kazarian because Kazarian was now with Tracy Brooks in this, so Cody and Brandy hate each other, and Brandy's with Kazarian now, and everybody hates Kazarian and Brandy. So yeah, that's the thing. But aside from that, so obviously we need to work that and stuff. A 1.74 for a TV rating, and yeah, just everybody hates Brandy. I forgot to mention that. I put it on Twitter like about a month ago. But AEW Dark, we'll crack on with that. With Sonny Kiss defeat Peter Avalon, Diona Peruzzo and Yuka Zakazaki defeating Killer Kelly and Penelope Ford, with Priscilla Kelly defeating Brandy Rhodes, Cash Wheeler over Joey Janela, and Sean Spears over Brandon Cutler. So that's part 1. I will now go ahead and put part 2. Let's see how that goes down next week. So the good thing about this format is we can go straight into the next episode. So here we are for the second week of October. So we've got this week and we've got next week, and then it is AEW All Out of Control. That is our pay-per-view for October. So we start off this one with some in-ring action, and I've opted for the team of the Titans, Jacob Fatu and Brian Cage. Pick up the win here over the Natural Nightmares, QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. And just 5:39 when Brian Cage pinned QT Marshall with Machine Termination. A 64. Again, getting over the fact Cage and Camille don't have chemistry, but it gives them an introduction. It gives them something to do for a couple of months, and then eventually, something will happen between Fatu and Cage down the line. But get the show off to a strong start and just keeps them continually building momentum going forward. Then after this, we try to have Trent Barretta and Orange Cassidy attack Brian Cage and Jacob Fatu, but the size was not in their favour, and the two big men absolutely destroy them. So a 42 rating for that. Jacob Fatu continues to get better at his gimmick, and Orange Cassidy benefits from the groundwell of public support. We move on to a match that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Nyla Rose defeats Tennille Dashwood in 6:52 by pinfall. This was a 47 rated matchup. It was just really a case of continuing the dominance of Nyla Rose and hoping we can continue the skill improvements to get Tennille over. But Nyla's the one we're focusing on. Her v Toni Storm's what we're building up to, so she gets the W. She then cuts a promo just really saying she just wants her hand on Toni Storm. She just wants to break her effectively, and that got a 51 rating. Also in our women's division, we had an extremely short matchup that saw Nikki Storm take on Killer Kelly, and she won in 4:09 with a perfect storm. A 48's not too bad. I just really needed an extra match on the show, and I felt like Killer Kelly was bought in a kind of development deal for AEW Dark, so we put her on the main show here to take the loss to Nikki, but it puts Nikki on, keeps her momentum going, and you never know, Killer Kelly might get a pop booster as well. So good matchup, just giving the champ a good one. Then had a match that was decent as Hangman Page defeated Jungle Boy in 10:04 with the Adam's Apple. Obviously Hangman's going to go on a massive run of victories, and that was a 52 rating there. Match was overbooked. We had to make it a mayhem match, which obviously the crowd didn't like, but it gets the crowd buzzing. It just, compared to other matches on the card, I felt like this was the one that would be least affected by the nature of the mayhem matchup, but it keeps a lot of options open here, because then you get Luchasaurus wants revenge for obviously what's happened to Jungle Boy, and you can kind of test the waters to see how Jungle Boy and Hangman could, because that could be a main event in 5-6 years of AEW. After matchup, Hangman's celebrating and Kenny Omega runs down, he beats up Hangman Page, he finally gets his hands on him, but of course this is a long way from being over. They want that one-on-one matchup, and a strong 75 rating here. Kenny benefits from the groundwell support, and it gets the crowd hotter. Next had some tag team action. We had the Private Party defeat the Hybrid 2 in 10:06 when Mark Quinn defeated Angelico. A 71 rated match up here, just again getting some more momentum on the side of Private Party after last week's defeat. The Hybrid 2, unfortunately, at the bottom of our tag division right now. This was just a regular match, so the fact that they could produce such a result in terms of segment rating, with no storyline attached, it bodes well for our tag team division. Next up, promo from Lance Archer and Jake Roberts, and they're just basically laughing at SCU. They just said he's beat Scorpio Sky, he's beat Frankie Kazarian, he's battered Christopher Daniels, and if Christopher Daniels wants that one final match, then he is more than happy to give him that at All Out of Control. So that's a 69 rating for that. We then had Alex Shelley take a defeat to Kip Sabian in 10-11 with a springboard dropkick, following interference from Penelope Ford. I just felt like it was a good opportunity to give Sabian a victory with Alex Shelley's partner Chris Sabian on the shelf for a few months. He'll kind of be putting people over. And yeah, pretty happy with that 62. And you've always got a way that Kip can get cheap victories with Penelope Ford interference. So happy with that. And Kip's getting better at his gimmick. Then I had a promo with Chris Jericho. Pretty similar to last week. He's just in the back, he's down in the dumps, he doesn't know what is going on. But it's just not our Chris Jericho that we know. He is truly... Is he doubting himself? He's truly not himself, that's for sure. But a 79, and the promo came across well. Next up, with a bout that had pretty much no heat and terrible wrestling, Priscilla Kelly defeated Sadie Gibbs in 550 by pinfall after the distraction from Evil Uno. A 29. You're wondering why this is placed so high in the card. It'll make sense eventually. But just a 29 here. Priscilla picks up the win. She's just a bit more over than Sadie. It did cool the crowd down, and obviously both of them are apparently jobbers on this, so we need a better perception of both of them. But then she's obviously with the Dark Order members, Brody Lee, Stu Grayson and Evil Uno, as she is of course part of the Dark Order, so she is a female representative. A good matchup, Darby Allin then defeated Cash Wheeler in 9:24 with a coffin drop. This was my Steal the Show match, the crowd's buzzing, we've brought them back. And a 73, good win for Darby over Cash. Possibly two conflicting styles in real life, but it still came out pretty well. And that led to, after the matchup, Brody Lee beating down Darby Allin, because he is still not happy with him, and he feels like he should be a member of the Dark Order. So more on that as it develops next week, and that's a 74 rated segment. Main event was an 81, which is good, but they had great heat and good wrestling. The team of John Moxley and Matt Hardy defeated Proud and Powerful in 11:50 when John Moxley pinned Santana with a Death Rider. Opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of performance, Matt Hardy 54, John Moxley 94, Matt off his game. Didn't know they had excellent chemistry together, so that's good. And it got the crowd hotter, which is good to see. An 81 here, and it's a bad day in general for the Inner Circle, and Moxley reigns supreme. We finished the show though with him and Matt Hardy being beaten down by Pac and his friends Penta and Rey Fenix, the Death Triangle. So we end the show with the champion down, his partner down, and the challenger. Is Pac going to go for one more match? So overall, the show got a 76, could have been a bit better there if I'm being honest. Increased our pop in 7 regions, and we gained popularity in 2 additional regions because of the growth restricted. So there is going to be a couple of rematches on this pay-per-view card to end feuds. Obviously Pac versus Moxley, Darby and Brody Lee will go at it again. We just need to... There's a reason why that's going to happen again, you'll see. As it happens, obviously Nyla and Tony, because there wasn't a definite victory. So Britt Baker's back, but she's now on maternity leave because we gave her time off. We're trying to sign Punishment Martinez. Whether I get him or not, I don't know. WWE's offered him 30 grand. Nah, you're alright, I'll just let you keep him. I was going to bring him in as like Damian Martinez or something. Get rid of the punishment part, but that's fine. Emi Sakura is 43, so we're going to let her go. Trim the roster down, so I've barely used her. And we had a 1.74 for our rating. But in terms of size, well, as I say, like the same with the WWE save, just slowly making the way towards big. Obviously a wee bit different to get to large because we have no coverage in Mexico, but I'm just going to wait till we just cover we get to big, and then after we get to big, we'll start working on like sort of Europe and the sort. But hopefully we've got a week show next week to put the card together for the pay-per-view. Hopefully it's something that is truly elite. See what I did there, but hopefully the new format's working, and we can certainly blast through a lot of this save going forward. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.